If you've ever bought a fake tree and struggled to make it look and feel full, then this is the video for you. I have two solutions that I want to share. The first one being what materials I use to stuff the tree, and secondly, branch bushels. I'm going to show you not only how to make them, but more importantly, how to know where to place them. And we're starting right now. First, we're going to fill in the tree gaps, but even before we do that, I want to lead with a little holiday survival tip. If you've ever owned an artificial tree, you know that the tree comes in 3 pieces, and those 3 pieces stack upon one another to create one larger piece. Do yourself a favor and don't add that 3rd top piece until you've decorated the rest of the tree. Just save yourself the pain and strain having to reach so high to add your tree topper, etc. Just set it aside and we'll get back to it later. Now let's begin. Let's start by filling in the empty gaps in the tree. For the first layer, I go in with some snow fluff, aka fake snow. I have a bin of it here and it looks pretty rough because it's so old, but that's okay because I don't need it to be pretty. It won't be seen. The main goal is just to cover these metal wire bars at the base of the branches, and no further than that. You could stretch this out to the front, but I find it requires too much to get full enough coverage, so this is good just for the base around the middle center of the pole. Layer 2 is the tinsel garland, but not just any tinsel garland. This is unlike any other. Lately, I have only seen it at Hobby Lobby. It's usually on one of the corner walls of the store. They offer it in almost every color with several combinations, so you have plenty of options available to match your tree colors. My tree is white, so obviously I'm using that, but the reason I love this tinsel so much is because it has 3 times the volume of regular tinsel. It's so full and voluminous, it covers and blends so much real estate on the tree. Next we have feather boas, and it might seem repetitive considering just use something so similar, but these feather boas add a completely different look and feel, especially when seen in person. The tinsel I just used is meant to act as more of a space filler before I cover it with these feathers. This is one of my best kept secrets because the feather boas blend everything so softly. It looks like the most perfect fake snow. Now I'm gonna go get my tree top piece. I assembled my light and my tree topper onto the 3rd piece off camera, and now I just need to add a few feathers to it. See how much easier this is to do and work with when this is within reach at this lower level. And I think Miss Pepper is finally ready to go up top. These 3 stuffings have filled out the gaps quite nicely. We have a great deal of coverage. Really quickly, I am going to go get some red feather boas because I like to use these as garland. Now the tree gaps are nice and full, and we just need to increase the volume. And I like to do that with what I call branch bushels. We're going to start off by using some miniature artificial trees from the Dollar Tree. If you have a green tree, they do sell them in green. If you have a flocked tree, then you can just take the green ones and spray them with some fake snow, some Elmer's glue, or white paint, and that'll make them blend more easily. I'm going to take all of these out of the box and remove the plastic piece from the bottom, and then separate the branches while flattening them into what I call pizza triangles. And then, just like a personalized pizza, we are going to decorate our branches with whatever pizza toppings we want. So you can make these extravagant or as simple as you want. But I always suggest starting with the biggest thing you have and working your way down to the smallest. These leaves are from the at-home store. And if it's your first time making these, I wouldn't commit to gluing anything the first time around. You want to leave yourself some room to change your mind and move things around if need be. So using a branch to hold something in place will work fine, or a pipe cleaner. Just pick the color that will blend the most easily. They offer these in every color you can think of, even sparkles, metallics, and clear. And luckily you can find them almost anywhere. And we're just going to keep it moving with piling on these pizza toppings. I've got some random extra branches from my craft closet here. They're nothing special, but I just need to use these because I haven't used them in a while. Also, we have some sprays. That's what these lovely things here are called. These particular ones are from the Dollar Tree floral section. No matter what you're making, these just make everything instantly better. I'm gonna try to fit at least 3 of them on one branch. They just give it such a facelift. Next, we need something floral. So I like to use a poinsettia because I think it is the perfect flower to use for Christmas. And if you get them on a stem, you just force it to bend forward and attach it where you have the biggest blank spot, which is usually closest to the base. And finally, you want to add something round, so naturally ornaments are the obvious choice. I have a box of old ones from the thrift store I'm using here, and I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner and wrap it around the branch. I'm just trying a traditional knot, and then I'm going to wrap the excess white part of the pipe cleaner around the branch just to minimize some of this brown and darkness that's coming through from the branch, but that's optional. You can use just one big ornament that takes up a lot of space, or add a bunch of ornaments. I typically like to add at least 3, one big one and 2 smaller ones. The benefit to using the pipe cleaners as opposed to going in with glue right away is that you can just slip them on, tie a knot, and then the other baby ones will fit really nicely on there as well. And I usually like to just hold them up after and make sure that they do have a natural jingle or ability to breathe. And then once I get confident that I like the placement, I will get lazy and just go right in with the glue gun. I'm going to throw in one more thing in here, which is some pearl snowberries, just because I have them and want to use them. It's an old thrift store find. Overall, it's about adding anything that creates different textures and contrasts that fits the realm of winter or fall. So when they're finally done and you are placing them inside of your tree, you just massage the branches around the base to hold them in. The purpose of these branch bushels is that they create this illusion of dimension. They kind of create a 3D effect of fullness. If you are confused about where to place the branches once you've made them, then I do have a little secret strategy. I want you to stand back away from your tree and imagine an imaginary X going through the biggest part of your tree. And then I want you to imagine placing your branch bushels right at the top and end of the X, as well as the center bullseye where the X intercepts right in the middle. So at minimum, this is why I encourage people to make at least 5 as their starting point. You can always make more later to make the tree even more full. Obviously, the more you make, the more full it will look. And the very last point is not actually a tip, but I just do think it's more of an honorable mention. I want to talk briefly about the bottom space of the Christmas tree. I don't have a huge gap on the bottom of my tree, so I just have a typical tree skirt. But if you look at other photos of trees, you know, in the magazines, etc., or online, they always have something at the bottom. In fact, you will never see an ad for a tree that does not have props at the bottom, because it does create that illusion of fullness. They never advertise it like the picture on the left with this gap. So if you do have a tree that does have an extra large gap at the bottom and you haven't quite made it to the store or done any Christmas shopping yet because, you know, you just haven't, the next best thing you can do to mitigate that space is add a tree collar, especially if you pick one that blends in with the rest of your tree. It's no replacement for props or presents, but it goes a long way in helping to mitigate that empty space at the bottom. And there's an endless variety of options out there to choose from, so there is something out there that will be a perfect fit for your tree, I'm sure. What are your favorite tips, or are there any in this video that I didn't show that you have that you think would help somebody else? If you do, please share them in the comment section below so that we can all learn and share and grow together.